All right, now what we'll do is we'll just talk about these like gematria. And I have to say this, the whole world's set up under gematria. It really is. Gematria would be like, it's to the other side. And see what's inside of you. I've said it over and over, the impressions that you've had your whole life. You can't. You can't understand it. And that's the homunculus mind, is it's been programmed with shit. And the only thing it's ever heard is well, if it can't be proven, seen, exterior, which is, it's they absorb what they hear and what they see, and it's everywhere. That's gematria. Whenever you're looking at controlling human beings from a distance, and black magic is being used, then there has to be ingredients and there has to be some kind of a code that does this. And real quick, what's the what year was this nation founded? Seriously, what year was it founded? 1776, right? Right there. So before we get into some of these numbers, all right, 888 times 2 equals 1776. You see that? 888 times 2 is 1776. Now don't run. You can't run. If you run, then it proves my point in the unseen point, that your impulses from this right here outweighs anything. You've been programmed to run. This is the whole thing. Until you put the technology down and walk away from it and test yourself, have I been designed into this shit? Does this dictate my life? Because it does. So, what we're going to do real quick before we get into the numbers. Satanic gematria starts with the 36th letter. Some of y'all that know some, you don't know anything, because no influencers, they talk about this, but there's something bigger than this. So A is going to be 36, B 37, C 38, D 39, Z will be 61. Okay, now real quick, you can look this up. 666 is the 36th triangular number. Okay, and then 61 is the 18th prime number. So what that is, let me write it down. So in the beginning of Satanic gematria, A is 36, which 666 is the 36th triangular number, meaning when you add 1 through 36 together, you get 666. And then Z, remember 36, 37, 38, all the way to Z, is going to be 61. 61 is the 18th prime number. 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 18. So now you're starting to understand, like, there's a beginning. The alpha and the omega within that code is 666. Pickup sticks right off the rip. Okay, now let's see. Jesus in Greek 888 gematria. It says, all right, so I'm going to show you this. This is what came up. I'm trying to make it to where you can see it because I don't fucking feel like reading it, but we're going to read it anyways. This is very important. It's very important. It says in Greek gematria, the name of Jesus, which is in Greek, which is that, totals 888. Calculated by summing the numerical value. Summing. When you go to court, you're summoned because you represent numbers. Okay? So you can go down to where it's the breakdown of 888 gematria. Letters, values, significance. 888 signifies fullness of newness and perfection, as the number 8 is considered to be beyond 7, which represents the perfection of creation. Heaven and earth equals 777. We'll stay here. Related gematria interpretations. Phrases such as, we're not going to get into that. It says the number 888 is often, it is used in Christian numerology to represent Jesus, as in contrast with 666. So now that we've built a foundation of some of you that's really hanging on, but it's like there's no way, because it's not just like what's coming through me. You have to receive some of this before any of this can even grow even further. Okay? So what we're going to do is you got to take a screenshot of that. If it'll come in clear. See my skulls over there. So this is satanic gematria. And what we're going to do is I'm going to read a few phrases. And every one of these phrases, letters represent numbers, represent forces. And within this code of satanic gematria, each one of these phrases, okay, have been fucking hexed and done rituals around and sacrifices and all kinds of shit. And there's as many, there's different gematria codes, but this is the main one in Latin, but this is the main one. Sumerian too, but this is fucking Big Daddy shit. So what we have is Arimonic homunculus is 888. Okay, which would be the opposite of Christ. Seriously. If you really knew your scripture and you really knew verses and the in-depthness of it, and to even compare that your life absorbed with so much materialistic demon nature is okay, no. It's our whole point. You're just a fucking billboard. Fallout. I have, somebody said watch it, and they know I don't watch nothing. Holy shit. They're raising people underground just like, it's so stupid. Satanic demon copies. All right, because Mind Unveiled will tell you about like Cabbage Patch, which will open your mind up, but that's not what it is, because then you got to get into like, Steiner talks about like eggs and goes way back to Saturn and talks about, you know, there's demons that can't incarnate. They can't. But there is ways that they can occupy vessels, vehicles, which would be us. Okay, so a satanic demon copy is going to be everybody that goes in every night and uploads these screens. That's the same copy. It doesn't matter. It's coming through a screen. They're not getting what comes through the ground and pulls all that life out there. That's that spirit, and this is too. They're all the same copy. It's all bullshit black magic. Hospital decorations, and I did just a few of these because I mentioned in the last video on how all these structures that have been created by demons, big demons that are very fucking clever. They're just so clever with their cleverness. And they create these structures. So when these goy, these Ahrimanic homunculus goy, who bite off position, they grow into it and gives them authority, and it gives them these impulses, which are fucking demons. So they depend on the higher ups, which would be the state, which looks good on the surface, but behind all that, it's not. It's black magic. And so you're going to get your supplies from us, like whatever's going to be incorporated, we're going to change the whole dynamics. It's not up to each local town or district or whatever. Now it's all through us. That should fucking like send red flags. It's not real. Every copy now is in the kindergartners. It's in their hands. It's these devices. And then the hospital decorations, it's Circe. The hospital industry is Circe. C-I-R-C-E, if you don't. And I'm trying to give you materialistic references so you can marinate your mind on what the fuck it is. Pharmakia means sorcery. Arm is in the middle of it, farm and all that. We could get into it. But the decorations is what I'm saying within these churches, schools, hospitals, fire halls, courthouses, police state. It doesn't fucking matter. Universities. They're all black magic symbols, and they represent forces along with these phrases that have been hexed on humanity. Goyim mirror erders. Okay? And what that phrase means is for these goy. Okay? You should never watch that, an act of inflicting that kind of violence. But yet they put it through their screens and then say, it's just for entertainment. Knowing that statistically, like putting alcohol everywhere, there's going to be alcoholics eventually. Well, there you go. That's how easy it is to get this fucking system for what it is. But these goy, who are homunculus, empty shell in the brain beings with the only emotions through news and what they fucking watch, see it, they imitate what they see, and they get impulses through movies and stuff like that, and see fake stories like Ted Bundy and Jeffrey Dahmer and all that, even though those were guided from a distance and then put into the news for these brains who have been on the Circe medications, which is black magic, and never had water or anything, and guided, went through certain Jesuit psychiatry fucking classes or military this and that, all there's a disguise the whole fucking time. And just introduced with impulses, and then they react to these impulses. Just like and they're all inside watching this. And that's the thing is you could put, I'm sure there is, for Goyim mirror crimes. I should have looked at that one up, but we're staying with this. And then under that, you got satanic blood worship. Of course it's going to be 888. It's the opposite of Jesus. And then under that, you've got Ahrimanic imagination, which would be materialism. Okay, if you're going to throw Jesus away and say, I don't even care about gematria and Greek and all this shit, that's the dumb, empty mind. Then you have an Ahrimanic imagination. Then you have that phrase ingrained into your subconscious. And right under that, you've got television stabbings. And then right under that, you've got dimmed consciousness. All 888. And I put different ones in there to give you an idea of how deep it is. It's very deep. This is just, I can give you probably 1,000 of the 888s. That's what I'm saying. These are beyond real. The tree of life is a dialing pad, but you can't look at it as just a flat piece of paper. You have to learn how to turn that thing into a dimensional cube, because everybody's in a prison within their own mind, and they are. They're within a cube because how many, these human beings, these homunculus only see 2 dimensions. They see longitude. You remember when we talked about that, the other longitude, latitude, altitude? They just see length and width because they've been looking down. So their brain is an equation. Okay, division, which is an equation that has to do with the news. Okay, multiplication has to do with us, just multiply. You know, it doesn't matter whether it's babies or death, just multiplication. Your address, add, is where you live because each one represents a number. Subtraction is, you know, it's through, now it's going to be subtracting the ones not going along with this fucking crazy shit they've created. But it's just, it's how it is. So it's some very serious stuff to know about that, because then you got to get into like cubes, and what I mean by that is like 512 is the 8th cube. Okay, do you see this? There's the 8th cube. Now let me finish with this and I'll show you, because you've got empire, state, building. E is the 5th letter, B is the 2nd, S is the 19th, which 1 and 9 equals 10. 1 plus 0 equals 1. So empire, state, building. Always go on the first letters. That's their numbers. This whole phrase, empire, state, building, has to do with 5, 1, 2. It's the cube of 8. It's the only thing it has to do with. S is the 19th letter. 1 and 9 is 10. Then 1 plus 0 is 1. B is the 2nd letter. 5, 1, 2. Times square. You know, you've got the cube. Right fast before I go, since all this is about cubes, it has to do with these numbers. The cube in Manhattan. There it is. There you go. Saturn. It's been hexed. There it is. I see where we are, and you should be, but you can't be because your impulses can't see it because you've been designed different. Like the labor, the time, and all that shit to make that and to put that up and everywhere else that they have those, all that could be invested into communities. You know, think about that. Anything that you see could be done that way. But they've created this sick, inner, weak demon. So, you know, it's just how it is. Okay? And listen, I can't be any more real with you about the gematria. And it doesn't work unless you know what the fuck's going on with it. But it's out there. They want it to be out there. They want it to be out there so shit like this can happen. Because they know it can only go so far. Because the operator has to know what the fuck to do. In black magic, you've got an operator, a conductor. And now you've got that shit in what? Trains and operators. 911, call you what's your emergency. 911's 156 prime. It has to do with fucking demons. Demons, demons, demons. I love you.